I'm only blooming back. Hey Retro Gamers, Antalpa here from RetroGamesCollector.com. It's been a gazillion years, gazillion months even, since I saw you last, or you saw me, and that's mainly down to the fact that I started a new business up. I jacked in my web design business, well, sort of pushed it to one side. It's still there, but it's pushed to one side. Don't really do much web design anymore, except for myself. And retrogear.co.uk is now my main earner. It's a retro game store, surprise surprise, specialising in 8-bit computers, surprise surprise, and especially the Spectrum. Well, no surprise there either. You may have seen me in the interim as I appeared in a Speccy Addict film by Andy Remick, which was great fun. I think I mentioned I'd been filmed in it, probably the last video I did, which was yonks ago now. Yeah, and we were filmed at the Centre for Computing History in Cambridge, which was great fun. I was filmed alongside Lord Arse, aka Mark Howlett, who's a great chap, and it was really good fun to be filmed with him for the day. And yeah, it's been released, and many of you may have already seen me being useless on that film. I don't think I came across very particularly well, to be honest. I was not relaxed. I was bricking it basically. I don't know what come over me. I was proper nervous, but yeah, I think it's having proper professional video cameras in front of you instead of this eyesight camera that I've got pointed at me at the moment. It just made me freeze. I wasn't very good. It wasn't very natural. Probably the worst guy on the entire film, to be honest, but hey, I'm there alongside real big legends. Yeah, it was great fun though, and if you haven't seen it, I'll post the details down below where you can get it from. Oh, by the way, check out that, mate. Check out that crash watch, courtesy of my very good friend Chris Wilkins. Let me have that one. Of course, he's got the Crash Annual coming out. If you want more details about that, again, I'll pop them below. Yeah, well, I've got so much stuff to tell you, to show you. I don't even know where to start, to be honest. Big pile of stuff. Now, I haven't bought much in the way of hardware. Money's been tight, starting a new business and all that. Got to pay the bills, got to feed the kids, got to give them toys and keep them entertained. So haven't been able to purchase much in the way of hardware, which I normally would. Although I did get this little beauty. People are looking at this thinking, those keys look a bit grey. Is that an issue 1? Yes, it's an issue 1. Finally got myself a lovely issue 1 Spectrum, courtesy of my very, very good friend Will Woodvine, who is a top chap, and he let me have this little beauty for what he paid for it, which I can tell you now wasn't a lot at all. An absolute bargain. The people that were selling this should know better, because they were a retro game store. Obviously didn't know what they had, so we reaped the benefits. Well, I reaped the benefits. Will bought it, spotted it, snapped it up before somebody else would, and then let me have it for the same money as he paid for it, which was very, very good of him, as he could have flogged this on for 300 quid the same day if he'd liked, and made a good old tidy profit. I won't tell you how much exactly it was, for fear of showing up the company that sold it, because it wasn't very professional of them, to be honest, because it's worth a lot more than they had it up for. But yeah, I'm happy. I've got issue 1 now in my collection. Talking of Will Woodvine, the good lad organised an event. Well, it wasn't an event as such. It was a meet-up of like-minded crazy Spectrum and Sinclair addicts. And we went to Cambridge for a weekend. We stayed over Friday night and Saturday night. There was 10 of us, and we visited Willis Road and 25 Willis Road, the Sinclair buildings there, and we visited 6 Kings Parade, and Will had organised a tour and a talk. A chap called Joe McIntyre, I think his name is. I'll put a correction here if I've got that name wrong. Joe McIntyre, I think his name was, who showed us round for the day, and gave us a brilliant talk on the history of the building, the Sinclair building, the iconic Sinclair building in Cambridge, and it was very, very interesting. We all went out drinking. Which comes of no surprise, and we had a great laugh. Great bunch of guys. The weekend was called the Weekend of Sinclarity, and we all had t-shirts printed with Uncle Clive on the front, so we could look like the uber nerds that we are. We found some other places in Cambridge as well of interest, so it was really good fun. Probably the most fun I've had out for a long time with mates, because as a dad you don't get to do it quite as much as you used to. So it was a fantastic weekend away. Thank you, Will, for organising that. I think we all had an absolute amazing time. I'm going to do a write-up on it very shortly and pop it on retrogamescollector.com so you can all see what fun we had. Some more little bits and bobs that I have got. Excuse me. I'm just recovering from man flu. Yeah. I finally got one of these. They were £30. Got one. Actually, it's not a bad bit of kit, I've got to say. I was very dubious, very sceptical. But it's not a bad bit of kit. I mean, to the untrained eye, probably it looks like a Spectrum. It doesn't look like a Spectrum to me. This too raised, and it's just a little too crisp and a little too modern looking. But to most people, that would look like a Spectrum. It feels like a Spectrum. Feels like one. And hooked up to an emulator, batteries in, hooked up to an emulator, connected via Bluetooth. You can play Spectrum games on it, and to all intents and purposes, it feels like you are playing on a ZX Spectrum, and it's got the right sort of it gives you the right effect basically. You forget that you're playing on a modern Bluetooth keyboard, and you actually forget it, and you just play, and you think, it takes you back to when you were playing on Spectrum. So yeah, it does the job really. It's good for use with emulators. I don't use emulators much because I've got all the original kit, but it's a nice thing to have, and for 30 squids you can't go wrong. Quite happy with that. I think they sold quite a few of them. It's a bit galling that we can buy these for 30 quid, and I think some of the Kickstarter backers are still waiting for theirs. Mr. Wilcox, put your act together. I also got this little bit of kit, not the Spectrum. The Spectrum's just my daily driver. This here, which isn't normally orientated that way. I've got a Curra micro slot on the back there, which points it up in the air. It makes it easier to put the SD card in and out. It's a Div MMC Future by The Future Was 8-Bit. Review coming very soon on Retro Games Collector if I can ever get around to doing reviews. I've got that many things to review now. Sorry folks for not reviewing your stuff earlier. Life has got in the way recently, hence no videos and hence no posts on Retro Games Collector. Oops. Yeah, sorry. Well, that's I can say now that the review will be favourable. It is an excellent piece of kit. It is a lovely, well made, well thought out, polished final product. Unlike a lot of the sort of homebrew div MMCs that are being produced. To be honest, they're all good, they all work, but this is a proper polished, finished article. It is very good. And you don't need to adjust jumpers and things like that to get it to work with different Spectrum models either, which is always handy. So, pop that on one side. I haven't got a lot of room in this room actually at the moment, so bear with me while I adjust things and move things around. I've got this Epson HX20 just for the hell of it. Mainly because it's the first truly portable computer. When it was released back in, I don't know, 1980 was it? I may be wrong. I will put a correction up if I am wrong, but I think it was 1980. So it's a good old machine, but it is truly standalone, portable. It works on batteries. It's got its own built-in little printer. Got its own built-in little cassette deck. So it's a proper sort of predecessor to your laptop. In really nice condition, good working order. The only thing I need is a backup battery for it. Yeah, that's a good, cool bit of kit. I've got, excuse me, while I pop stuff away, a ton of software and things that I've got hold of. I'll just run through them. I might as well just run through them as they come off the table, to be honest. This is a Sinclair ZX Spectrum 128 retail demonstration cassette. This is what they would have had running in the shops on the ZX Spectrum 128 toast racks when they were on display in Boots and Woolworths and wherever else they had them. Haven't run it yet, don't know what's on it. Games 4, finally got hold of Games 4, so that now virtually completes my single cassettes, my single dual Sinclair collection. English Lit 1, so those two complete my single dual collection. I have everything now. Also got some compilation packs, P15, which has got 5 cassettes and the instructions in there. I've got P16, which is the +3 disc version. These came bundled with the +2s and +3s. And I've got P15G, which I have been told reliably that is the German version of P15. That's got 7 cassettes in it. So I'm not quite sure. I don't really know. I don't really get the. This is all after my time, really. I only had a 48K rubber key Spectrum. So if anybody knows anything about the bundled cassettes that came with +2s and +3s, please either comment or contact me via the website and let me know what their numbers were, because I've got P15, P15G and P16. I do believe there was a P1529. I'll just have to leave it there a second. And I'm back. Yeah, don't you hate it when you get disturbed halfway through your YouTube videoing? Yeah, where was I? Where wasn't I? Where was I? Yes, I'd done those and that and these and this. Yeah, okay, they're all done. So, got me a. I'd already got this, but it was a bit ratty, and I got this lovely minty Deus Ex Machina off eBay. Cracking condition, really good condition. The spine's intact. It's usually all split and things. It's got a really nice crisp poster and instructions there. 2 lovely cassettes. It's been really well looked after, so that goes in my collection because I collect automata stuff. So there you go. Really nice that. I'm so pleased I've got a really good version of that. Normally goes for a fortune. I think I picked this up off eBay for I think it was around a tenner. Well, I've seen these go upwards of 30-40 quid before now, in good condition. So very pleased with that. Pop this out of the way. Bit of an unusual one. One from our mate Dana, this is. Recognise this, Dana? Yeah, it's, to be honest, in all the years I've been collecting, I've never ever seen one of these boxed, and it's in great condition. And this is what you would have got with your CPC 464 back in the day. These are your free AmSoft titles, but as you can see, they come in a thin box, and you can see why it wouldn't have been kept. I mean, you wouldn't want to shove all your cassettes back into here again, would you, every time you use them? So it's not really a really practical box. So that would have just gone straight in the bin as soon as the cassettes were out of it, and that's why you don't see any. I don't know what to do with that. Does it really want to place in my collection? I don't know. You may just end up on Retro Gear and somebody else can buy it. Somebody who wants it for their CPC collection. I'm not sure I really want that, to be honest, to keep it. So shout out below if you're really interested in it and you would really like it. Obviously not going to give it away. It didn't, you know, it wasn't free for me. But you know, I won't rip you off. I can pop it on Retro Gear for you if you like. So there you go. Now you guys already probably know, if you follow me on this channel or on Twitter or on Facebook, or indeed on my website, that I love homebrew stuff, especially for the ZX Spectrum. So I've been keeping my eye on Chronosoft's offerings, and also Monument Microgames offerings recently, and I've been grabbing them every time anything news popped up. I'll pop the details for Chronosoft and Monument Microgames, all tongue-tied, Monument Microgames down below. Check them out. Getting new titles for your old machines is just, I think it's one of the greatest things you can get, to be honest. There's some of the nicest things in my collection there. So this is by Chronosoft. In fact, all these first 5 are by Chronosoft. This has been done in a very Sinclair-esque manner, so it matches the Sinclair titles. I'm getting that original Sinclair title there just to show you. Really cleverly done, really nicely done, with a jazzy orange Dayglow tape inside there. Fun Park. I've got one by Matt Ricardo, a game by Matt Ricardo. That's been, no, actually I said the first 5 were by Chronosoft, sorry, no. The next 3 are by Chronosoft. This one here is by Cytronic, and that one's written by Matt Ricardo, and again done in a very Sinclair-esque manner to match the style of the original Sinclair tapes. Very, very nice, and a fantastic game, that, really good. I'm looking forward to Robot 1 in on the Planet of Death, I think it is, which is the second one I've pre-ordered. I shall pop that on one of these videos when it arrives. So love that. These next 3 are by Chronosoft again. This is Albatrosity, Jonathan Caldwell, yeah, Jonathan Caldwell game, and that's on a limited edition orangey cassette with gold label. It's done in very small number, I think. GameX, the Game Exchange, and there's a set of games on there. Again, Chronosoft. One's on a jazzy green cassette. Excuse me while I fumble. And Toofy in Fanland, which is, I don't know who that's by, to be honest. See if it tells me. Paul Jenkinson. So there you go, a game by Paul Jenkinson, Toofy in Fanland. That again been released on the Chronosoft label. These next bunch are all in double dual cassettes cases. That's because with Monument Microgames, not Microsoft, Monument Microgames. I wish it was as big as Microsoft, I would imagine. They give you loads of extras, which you'll see in a second. So you've got Metal Man Reloaded. I've got Endless Forms Most Beautiful. I can't tell you how well, I can't really show you on camera how well these things are put together and how nicely they're printed, and the level of detail and attention to detail that goes into these games. Graz Richards at Microsoft. I keep saying Microsoft. Monument Microgames. Yes, I'll get it right in a minute. Graz Richards at Monument Microgames. There you go. He puts so much effort into these, and it really shows. I will show you the insides and the contents of these double dual cases in a second. Trackster. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Ceto Taisha, maybe. That is in a sleeve, and that one's got two. He's had to put an extra double dual in there for all the extras he's put in that one. So that one's superb. That is superb. Multi-Dude. Right, these are all by various authors. Literally just published by Graz Richards and Monument Microgames. See, I can say it now. Finally, this is the Ceto Taisho cassette. So you got. Let's just fumble off camera a little bit more, as you do when you're totally unprofessional like me. There we go. Okay. Right. Excuse me. There are two dual cases in this one, purely and simply because of all the extras you get. So inside one of these dual, this is just the sort of stuff you get from Monument Microgames. Your really nicely printed label on your cassette. And the cassettes are always in really nice colours that sort of match the rest of the theme, the general theme of the game. You get pin badges, which are, not just rubbishy pin badges, they're really nicely printed pin badges. So you get a couple in this one. As I said, this one was a bit extra, a bit special because it got extra stuff in it. You get a collectible card. That's card number 17. Ceto Taisho with a picture there. Can't really do it justice with this rubbish camera that I've got, but everything is printed to really top quality. You get a CD with the emulator files and extra bits and bobs on there. You get that with every Monument Microgames release. And then of course you've got really nicely printed inlays both sides. In the second one here, you get a key ring. I mean, it's like being back in the days of the Amiga and the ST again, when you used to open the boxes and they used to be full of goodies. I love getting this stuff off Graz when they come. It's like I'm like a kid in a sweet shop. So you get that, and you also get some little fold up. You fold these, and they're just little things that stand up. These are the characters out of the game. So you got the Crockery General there, who's the main character in this particular game. Another one, and those are the baddies. Boob Face, I call him, for obvious reasons. And a really well printed and well put together manual. Really, the professionalism shown with Monument Microgames titles is just astounding. It really is astounding. The quality of the print and the attention to detail, how they've been cut, how they've been stapled, you know, everything is just, it's just top quality. You couldn't ask for more from a really big publisher. You know, and this is a guy doing it pretty much by himself. Fantastic job. So hats off to Graz Richards. He's producing, you know, some fantastic stuff. If you get chance, I will put the details below, and if you get chance, go along to the Monument Micro Games website and check out their stuff. Support them, buy some stuff, because you know, it's these people that are keeping the scene alive, or kept the scene alive, and have made it what it is, to be honest, over the years. So I mean, that's a bit of an exception. That one came with a few extra things than they normally come with, but this one's pretty typical. This is multi-dude, and this one's pretty typical of what they normally come with. You've got your cassette, which again with a lovely printed label. You got a badge, and this is a very typical title. You got your collectible card again. This one's number 16. You got your CD and your booklet with instructions, all in a double jewel case with a really nicely printed inlay. And that's what you can expect. Reasonably priced. In fact, very well priced, to be honest. Not just reasonable, cheap really, considering the amount of work that goes into them. So pop along and please support Monument Micro Games. You will, if you're a Spectrum fan and you like good games and you like well packaged games and nice things sitting on your shelf, you can't go wrong, really. There you go. So I've got multi-dude. Yeah, you've seen all those. Yep. Lovely jubbly. Right, what else did I get? I got these. Giftalien.com. This is like a top trumps game involving Spectrum games. So this is what you get. A pack of top trumps cards, basically, with different Spectrum games on, with ratings, playability, graphics, sound, addictivity. Addictivity, is that actually a word? Whether it runs on 16K or not. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage? I don't know. Good fun and really nicely made, nicely presented again. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming out at the moment. It's a really good time to be a Spectrum fan. We won't mention the VEGA at this point. So, what else have we got here? Oh, excuse me, forgot the logo. Went to a premiere of the film that I was in, the one I mentioned earlier, Spectrum Addict by Andy Remick. It was held over in Cambridge, which was really good fun. And I got to meet all of the other stars of the film, you know, true stars, proper Spectrum legends. And while I was there, I knew they were coming, so I took a load of my software over with me and I got it signed by them. So cool, or what? Shorts Fuse, signed by Mr. Rich Stevenson. Hi, Rich. Football Manager of various types, all signed by Kevin Toms. So I've got that version, which is the Prism. That's the later version, Prism Paxman version of Football Manager on the Spectrum. And I've got the is that the first? I think that's the first release on the Spectrum, signed by Kevin Toms as well. Yes, there you go. And my pride and joy, I think this is the second release on the first proper full colour release, but the second release on the ZX81, signed by Kevin. By the way, Kevin was a really nice guy. A bit intimidating because he's like about a foot taller than me, but really nice guy. Got these signed by the legend that is Steve Turner, so Uridium, signed by Steve. Needless to say, these are all pride of place in my collection now. 3D Space Wars, really nice early title. I thought I'd take that one along, got that one signed by him. Steve's another really nice guy to talk to, so down to earth. And couldn't not have one of my favourite games of all time signed by Steve, Avalon. Steve talks about the making of Avalon in the Spectrum Addict film, so check it out, guys. It's good, not just because I'm in it. In fact, because I'm in it might be a reason not to watch it, but Cabal, I've never known how to say that. Is it Cabal? I don't know. Put me right, Jim. This is signed by Baggers himself. And Midnight Resistance, which you could just about make it out on the back. The only bit he could sign in was that the ready bit on the back there, so he's put all the best, J Bagley. So thanks very much, Jim, signing those for me. Yeah, so like I say, not a lot of hardware, but some very cool software. I did have this for my ZX81, but I didn't have one in such good condition, so I snapped that one up. Walk the Plank by Novus for the ZX81. Flight Simulation for the ZX81. Would look again. Not just any old flight simulation. Flug Simulation. Simulation? I don't know. How do Germans pronounce simulation? I don't know. Not like that, but not like it anyway. Yeah, Flug Simulation, which is the German version of flight simulation, obviously. Patrouille de l'espace. So Space Raiders, but the French version. Oh, something I've been after for quite a while. The original version of Fighter Pilot, and the very first thing that, can you see that, guys? And the very first thing that digital integration ever released. So there we go. Doesn't come with an inlay because I don't think it did. And instructions. There we go. So that is Fighter Pilot for the ZX81, of which I've seen about 3 copies ever in all the years I've been collecting. So I feel quite privileged to have got hold of that. Leave that one to last. Merchant of Venus by Crystal for the ZX81. Cassette 5 by Orwin. Now, I did a video before, I think, with cassette 4 in, which I've been after for years, and this one's popped up now, so I've got cassette 4 and cassette 5. If anyone knows where I can get cassette 1, 2 and 3 from, I would love to know. If you've got one for sale, I would like to know, because I'd like to have the full set of Orwin stuff. This one's got an actual printed cassette inlay, which is, I don't know if it's unusual, but all the other ones that I've ever seen have just been plain with the stamp on. They were fond of using stamps on their cassettes, obviously to keep costs down. Xerax by CRL. Love the covers on these. I love the illustrations. Good stuff. Samurai Warrior first release by Lothlorien. That's for the ZX81 again. Unusual one here, quite hard to get hold of. JRS Software Space Trek. The Scion version of Fantasy Games, as opposed to the one that was released by Sinclair and Scion. I'm going to get that just to show you the difference. There is it. There you go. Here we go. That's the common version, which is the one that I had with my ZX81 back in 1982. And probably one of the first games I played on it, to be honest. In fact, I think it was the first game. And that is the Scion version. Yeah. Rubik Cube by CDS Microsystems. Is it? Yeah, CDS Microsystems. It didn't sound right there. CDS Microsystems, yeah. And this last one's another Chronosoft title. I left this one, I made this one separately because this one's for ZX81. They don't do many ZX81 titles. In fact, I think this is only the second one they've ever done. And this one's in the nice Sinclair-esque inlay again. What colour's the? Oh yeah, nice, nice dark grey cassette. That one. Right. Picked up a couple bits of hardware, peripherals mainly, not major hardware. I finally got an AGF programmable interface from a Spectrum. So this thing flips over, and I'm not quite sure how the hell it works, to be honest. I think those little points on there stick into there, and yeah, it's like a touch sensitive thing there, is it? They stick into it and tell it what you've programmed to do what? I don't know. Answers on a postcard, please. I'm guessing that's what it does. And I've got this little beauty in a box of stuff that I got. A little RGB interface for the Spectrum by Adapt Electronics. Interestingly, came with the original receipt. So these were people working out of a shed or a bedroom or something, and that's invoice 8 of 58. So these were small, you know, there weren't many of these made by the looks of it. But it's a nice bit of kit, nicely made. It's got a through connector and everything on it, you know, that didn't cut corners. It works quite well on my monitor, well, on my PVM. So, quite pleased with that, so I can put my 48s on a monitor. What else do we have? What else do we have? What else do we have? Right. Talking of homebrews, we weren't talking about homebrews, but we were before. Defend Your Castle. I'll put the links to the website down here. This is a homebrew title. Literally, all you got was the printed circuit board, which goes inside a standard Atari cartridge, and these labels. So you got the top label, the main label, really nicely printed on backing paper, and the printed circuit board, and then you just find an old Atari cart that either doesn't work or is just a really common one like Combat or something. Take the labels off it, take the old circuit board out, replace it with this circuit board, and hey presto, you've got yourself a nice nice looking cart with a brand new homebrew game on it. Also he produced the files for the box, which I printed out onto card and then put together, so I've actually got a box for it as well, which is it matches quite nicely with the rest of my Atari boxes, so that looks nice amongst them. Unfortunately the manual is just in PDF form. I've yet to print that out and make a manual out of it, so it involves a bit more work. People that know me know that I avoid work where possible. There you go, defend your castle. I got sent this by Mega Cat Studios to review on the site. It's Log Jammers. In this lovely shiny box. And what's inside? What have we got? We've got an NES cart in Dayglow Green, see-through Dayglow Green. How cool is that? How totally and utterly cool is that cartridge? Log Jammers with the manual. So I will be reviewing that. Again, as I've said previously, I apologise for not having reviewed all this stuff. It's long overdue. I've just had my head up my backside a little bit recently with everything else. So yeah, that one's coming up for review on the site shortly. New 8-bit magazine. Look on the back cover of issue 4, and you won't see Canada's Video Museum this time. You see retro gear. Nice old leaflet from advertising W.H. Smith's partnership with Sinclair, where they sold all the stuff in W.H. Smith's all over the country. I finally got Mean 18 for my 7800 in a nice box, good condition. Now, my friend Graham Axten just so happens to be a fantastic programmer of the Commodore 64 as well, and he came up with the Bare Essentials, which is an amazing game. I think they've sold out of the disc version now on Pond Software. Again, details below. There's going to be an awful lot of stuff below this this video by the time I finish. Yeah, Pond Software. A little play on Ocean there, and yeah, I can't tell you how much fun that game is. It's absolutely fantastic. My kids love it, absolutely love it. I don't play on the C64 very often, but when I do, that's usually what I boot up. I've also now got, and thank you very much to Vanja and Graham for this. They very kindly sent me, completely free of charge, this Bare Essentials. He basically sent me this as a thanks for featuring the development of the Bare Essentials on Retro Games Collector, which I would have done anyway, Graham. See, it was a seriously good game, mate, and you deserve all the praise you get for it. So there you go, the Bare Essentials on cassette as well. So thank you very much. Being the very, very kind gentleman he is, Chris Wilkins sent me a Dreamworld Pogie, or gave me a Dreamworld Pogie when I met him at Revival, and that's been signed by the twins. It'd probably be rarer and more expensive, more of a collectible if it hadn't been signed by the twins. Everything's signed by the twins. All they do is sign things. And also from Mr. Wilkins, his latest book, Commodore Amiga in Pixels, which is absolutely tremendous. I swear I started off a few years ago saying his books were fantastic, and they haven't stopped getting better since. They really are top quality. And Amiga bookmark, which is quite cool because it's got the guru. No, it isn't the guru meditation at the back of that one, is it? Software, just the software failure. There you go. And this is the book. It's a bit hard to show you just how good it is, to be honest. It's top quality. If you are into the Amiga in any way, it's a must read. If you weren't into the Amiga in any way and just want to know what the fuss was about, it's a must read. Seriously, it is very, very good. I wasn't into the Amiga at all back in the day. I went straight from Spectrums to Macs, believe it or not, because I've become a graphic designer. And Macs were what we used. But the Amiga was around. My mates had them. You know, I played with them occasionally. But I wasn't heavily into the Amiga at all. So, but this book, nevertheless, is of great interest to anyone who's into retro gaming or computing in any way. I highly suggest that you go purchase it. Again, details for Fusion Retro books down below. He also sent me David Whittaker's Amiga Works, which has got these titles on it. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. And he sent me a really nice Turrican mouse mat. Thank you very much. All that leaves me to do now is open my Retro Store parcel. Now this has come from a place called theretro.co.uk. They've sent it me to review. So I'm going to do this unboxing now. Basically, it's a subscription service. You pay, I think it's £20 a month, and they send you 3 games. Now you can specify what. Hang on a minute, let's get something to open this with. Now you can specify which machines you want the games for. So you can say whether you want it for the Mega Drive or the NES or SNES or whatever. Or you can just ask them to send you a random set of 3 games every month. Excuse the noise, I've just put that right down by the microphone out, that wasn't too loud. A random set of games every month, and you could have anything at all. So what have I got? Oh my god. Okay. All-Star Tennis 99 for the N64. I've got joke bonus game there for you. And yeah, I was hoping it would be a joke. Barbie fashion pack, right up my street. Actually, my little girl will probably play that. Rayman for the Game Boy Color. And I don't know whether, crikey, it's got small writing. I think it says the SpongeBob SquarePants movie freeze frame frenzy. Or is it just 2 games in one? I don't know. And that's for the advance. And they also sent me this little doodad. Don't know what it is. Where is it? Oh, it's a stick-on joystick for your phone, I think. Yeah, I think it's one of those stick-on joysticks. Yeah, you stick onto your phone and you can use it for controlling games on your iPad or your phone, on your tablet or your phone. There you go. So, yeah, that the retro.co.uk, and they do subscription services for games. So we can either send you 3 random games a month for £20, or they can send you specific games for specific, not specific games, but specific consoles, basically. So you say which console you want it for, and they'll send you just those. They also do vinyl, if I've read the website correctly, whereby you can have 3 records sent you every month, random records, or you can, I think you might be able to pick between genres or something. And what else do they do? They do something else as well. Anyway, I'll put the details for the retro.co.uk down below. If you want to subscribe and have something weird and wonderful sent through to you every month, you can. And that, folks, for my first video in absolute yonks, is that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for staying subscribed to me. I've noticed the subscription figures have been going up, even though I haven't been posting any videos, so I'm very grateful for that. That is nice of you all, and thank you not for dropping off like you know, as most people would if they're not being served with videos every month or every week. So I do appreciate the loyalty, folks, and keep it retro.